Okay, we're going to call the meeting to order at 6 o'clock. We have quorum. We pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome to the introductions. I don't think we need to do any. I know there's some people downstairs that they're coming up, so we'll see when they get here. Approval of the minutes. You guys had a chance to look at the minutes. I do have one correction. There's no absent category. Christine, you weren't here last month, right?
The last 2 weeks I missed.
Last meeting.
Last week.
So it's have to be amended to show that Christine Orlando was absent. Other than that, it's all up to speed. Just so I could tell if anybody has any suggestions on corrections, omissions. Hearing none, I want to entertain a motion to accept the minutes.
So moved.
Second. Okay. I'm going to move on to upcoming events. The arts mixer. Connor's out today. He's got pre-engagement, so everybody's aware of the meeting tomorrow. The theater. You said you might be attending.
I'll be there. Yep.
I'll be there. I didn't know about it, but I won't be at that.
It's tomorrow at 5:30. It's at Black Rock Theater. It goes 5:30, 6:30. It's just yeah.
One of the comments made at the conversation was an opportunity for artists to get together informally and network. Result from our last meeting, we discussed the possibility of meeting venues and having artist mixer every quarter. Volunteer at Black Rock Theater for one. So that's the idea behind it.
I will do my best. Do you need a document?
No, we have, I think, 24 people that have signed up. We have Connor did provide folks who are interested to stay for the production of Rent, providing a 50% discount for a ticket. So I think half of those indicated they were interested, so we sent to them so they could buy a ticket in advance. We do have a cash bar, and I will be buying refreshments, cheese and crackers for folks.
There's church over.
So, hopefully this is going to be something that we can do every quarter, and we'll give an opportunity for artists to get together and talk amongst themselves, but also meet all of you and engage with the convention, and also I think bring awareness to some of our fantastic venues here in Toronto. So that's the idea.
What are the numbers about?
We have about 24 people that signed up. Yeah, so we sent out to the folks who had expressed interest in the conversation or expressed interest in going on of the Arts Commission and just arts in general. We sent that out on social media and in the patch.
Something we're looking to do quarterly, so I know that, the Quick Center and Shu are talking about it, maybe the next times. Anything else about that? Maybe it's more Lou or no?
Yeah.
Who has the list? I never got a mailing.
Sorry,
I'm sorry.
yeah, this is a commission meeting, so I just got to
Sorry.
we have time for public comment later on.
And I'll capture your name and make sure you're on our mailing list.
We don't mind you guys sitting at the table, but this is only for the commission until we get to the open. Okay, marketing communications update.
The same, where read it. I've gone and started taking pictures of things around town, so we can just start to post that and more around yes.
go ahead that we're trying to set up a meeting, another meeting with Mary Alice, myself, and Connor. I know all of you are volunteers. You all have full-time day jobs. Mary Alice already manages all of our social media accounts, including Make Music Fairfield. We offer to take on the primary responsibility for posting content to the Arts Commission social media page too, so that there's more frequency of posts. We're happy to do that and work with.
But it's not us. You know, like, great.
Yeah, whatever you work.
The assets.
The idea is to maybe meet with Connor and even once a month, set up the schedule of what we're going to be promoting that month, and then she can kind of just go ahead and do it.
So when is that transition going to happen?
As soon as we get another meeting with Connor to kind of.
So we're talking about the upcoming events and marketing. So two things we have going on, committee members. Sam, you want to talk for a minute about the chamber music series?
Oh, yes. I've just added this is for Make Music is Friday night and
Friday.
was me. So this is part of it, and it's the chamber music series at the Fairfield Public Library. And this one starts at 6 p.m. On the green there, and the music will be from the alcove. There are three separate events. The first one, of course, being on the 21st. It's supported by the Jennifer Cargill Lipstick and Pearls Art Fund. There'll also be a plug for the Arts Commission in the opening comments. So I hope you all can make it, and I hope the weather holds out.
Sam?
Please take these and distribute them.
I don't know if you want to talk about Make Music Day.
I think everybody knows, but what's an extra, I didn't know, Katie, if you have a place for it.
What's that shirt say? I don't really.
I know, and I didn't even ask Jennifer to wear the shirt, and she wore it. I'm so asking me not to wear it. I don't know, but there's rain right now. They're talking about rain, so I'm a little freaked out. Yeah. We'll talk about that.
20%. Not too bad.
Yeah, it's going to happen. Not going to happen.
It's going great. I've just been running around all day dropping off stuff. Is Connor not in town? Is anybody?
He had to take today off. He's got a pre-existing engagement, so
Okay.
we'll see him tomorrow night.
Anyway, everybody, hopefully it'll be a fun day. Yes, we'll just drop signs off at Pequot, and there's a lot in Southport, a lot downtown, at the beach. We start with sunrise yoga at 8, and then a sound bath, and at noon it would be great. Actually, I think it would be nice. We have a ceremony at noon or 11:45, kind of the opening ceremony. We have a guy from West Haven named Jim Lopresti who's been our drum circle facilitator for the last 3 years, and he was so excited about this that he made his own drum this year out of in his studio, and it's called a gathering drum. And so we're going to start the ceremonies with that, and Chris France and Tina Weymouth are going to come and be our sort of master of ceremonies. But I think it'd be nice. Bill Gerber's going to be there. You're going to be there, Mark. Jonathan Healy, I've asked him to come.
Who goes, I go.
I mean, I know, I don't know, Christine, if you want to walk over, but it'd be nice, as Arts Commission members to be there. I'm going to make a couple of remarks, so maybe I'll mention the Arts Commission, and I hope the press is there, so that would kind of be nice too. I will be wearing this shirt again, but
Where is it?
at the gazebo.
Oh, cool. Okay.
12 o'clock.
Well, 11:45.
I'll put it on the
Yeah.
calendar.
Thank you. Thanks for all your support, everybody.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Lou. All right, next business we have is the Arts and Cultural District designation. We have a resolution. While we read this resolution, if you have some time, if the visitors wouldn't mind, write your name on a piece of paper so Lou can have it for the record. I would appreciate that, so we know who
Pass around.
attended the meeting today.
If you have an email address, and if you're not on, I will add you. So
The organization that we're.
You can put whatever information you want on there is fine. So Lou, enter it into the minutes. Okay, so Mark, you put together this resolution, correct?
yeah, so I drafted a resolution for the Board of Selectmen. I have not reviewed it with the town attorney, but I think it hits all the high notes, which is required. It describes enabling legislation that the Connecticut statutes, Public Act 1993, which allows communities to set up a cultural district. Talks about what a cultural district is. The fact that Fairfield is fortunate to have many outlets here in town, as well as activities and events throughout the year for a lot of people in Fairfield. And a significant number of those venues and historic sites and assets are located near or within the downtown. Is defined as meets the criteria for it's compact. The town did establish an arts commission to stimulate and encourage development and appreciate arts, and probably tasked the board with exploring the possibility of creating a cultural district in town. And that we want to do that. We want to establish cultural districts so that we can better promote artists as well as market and support the events that are going on here in town. So hopefully the board will actually act to designate. This is the map. We're having the engineering department provide a meets and bounds and description that will go into the body of the resolution. We're also trying to put this on the GIS system so that we can pull it up into a 24 by 36 poster. Hope to do that for the next or tomorrow, but we will have it for another event so that we can talk. I've met with a number of our venues already in the tourism committee and others, so hopefully has support. The other thing the board has to do is designate this body as the local district commission. They need to enhance its membership because there are certain criteria for members of the cultural district to make sure that there's representation from different classes. I think RTM board, when they set up this body, tried to do that consciously, but we have to go through and make sure we checked all the boxes. So that's the intent. I'll talk to the town attorney, make sure all the whereas and now therefore stuff is done right. And if you're okay with it, I don't know if you want to act on it or you want to. I mean, I don't have. Board Select meets twice a month, so I think one of the things we'd like to do is do a little bit more outreach to the public, make sure folks are aware of this before we have the board act. But it's the last pages we actually bundle it all up and send it to our Cultural Alliance. Sam, you're a reader of all these resolutions.
Did indeed. I think that it's allowed for public comment at this point, socializing the establishment of this. And I don't know you will be ready to act on something until there's further comment or to the next meeting or meeting.
Yeah, we can certainly hold it over. It's drafted, so whatever you want to do.
I'm sorry, you did mention, was it last from legal?
No, I usually run it past the town attorney just to make sure he's okay.
Right.
Usually has a few like you.
Maybe that's the resolution for the
I misplaced the comma or something.
for the town attorney to review it.
Yeah.
Prior to adoption.
No problem. I can. That was my plan.
I'm sorry, I missed the, I think you did say it. So.
Is that something we do electronically if you get approved? I'll wait till next month because the Board of Selectmen meets in the.
Yeah, I don't know if we'd be ready for that, but I seem to be a regular guest at the select meetings, so it's not good.
You have a comment?
Yeah, let me know if there's anything else you see.
Center in here, so that's good.
My house isn't.
Yeah, when we do have the map, we're hoping to actually have a key with it. So these colors mean something. They're historic sites, creative businesses, state asks you to categorize in 4 different groupings. So we tried to follow that model, which New London had done.
Yep.
We also will have a key that will identify each location. Not all are identified here, but they will be, including Art Place. So.
Okay, we're gonna move on to new business. I know Sam had something to present, Roxanne had something to present, but before we do that, on the new business. So, I was trying to ascertain when our terms come up, because they did it alphabetically. So, Christine, Mark, and myself, we had a 1-year term that ended this month. The town thought that because we didn't start till November, it was November, and I had to correct them and say, no, the website has it as June. So I'm gonna go to the commission, I'm gonna go to the Board of Selectmen at the next meeting, 26th, 27th. And I just need to know, Mark, Matt, and Christine, if you guys want to be extended for another 3-year term, I'll let them know so they can put it on.
A 3-year term.
A 3-year term.
We're going from 1 year to 3.
Well, what is it? There's always 3-year terms when you're on a committee, yeah. And so what happened was, because it's a brand new one, they did alphabetically.
Yeah.
So Cargill and Goldstein and Dean were 3-year, and then the middle was 2-year, and then myself, and Christine, the last in the alphabet, so we finished 1-year term.
Got it.
So our term ends, and then I'm just asking you guys if you want to go for another 3-year term. I'll let them know.
I'd love to. I'm getting practice in like.
So Matthew,
I don't think we got the benefit of your 1-year term yet.
Just getting started.
No, we're just getting started. So
I understand, but I don't want to take it for granted. You don't want to do another, do a 3-year term if they don't want to do it. So
I appreciate that.
I'll submit our names, and they'll vote on it, the next committee meeting, next Board of Selectmen meeting. Okay, so now I'm gonna move on to Sam that submitted, and he just went black.
And Sam, he seems to be having problems with his connection. I did unmute
The
him.
flyer that Sam sent out, Innovation Art Challenge.
I think I got it.
Oh, there we go. Just finish, Sam.
I appreciate that. So go ahead.
Okay,
Lead it in.
everybody's got the flyer, everybody knows what it says.
Yes, Sam, you approached me, and also met with the arts coordinator at Fairfield Public Schools about doing a curated art competition for young people. The idea is around innovation art, and I'll let Sam describe that, but in different categories. And I think it's a tremendous idea, something that's been done here and elsewhere, but I think the idea, the spin, make it more innovative.
Yeah, we had this come up a lot as we read through the conversations with the commission event. It came up a lot at the different tables of how we get these students, young people of Fairfield engaged in art. So I came up with this concept of combining, like Mark was saying, this idea of, instead of just doing an art challenge, of actually start to give it a little bit of a different edge to it, which calling it innovation art. And I did a little description, which would be the construction and implementation of an idea that creates something new or a unique change to existing art form that is of human expression and creativity. That way we know that it's just not done by AI, it has human aspects to it. And the object of the challenge is to create an innovative solution to a proposed challenge. And we'll talk more about that as we develop it. I had talked with Michelle, and we really divided this into 2 age groups, 11 to 14 and 15 to 18. Separating the 2 because, again, within the 11 to 14, that is a nice age group that they can challenge each other instead of trying to compete with slightly older students. And also, Michelle wanted to open up the age group so that way we do have enough participants. As you can see, I just categorize these into visual, digital, literature, or performing, or I threw in culinary as well. Why not? The suggested challenge, we can work on this, is to create an innovation art piece that has a message about the town of Fairfield, so we can keep it nicely Fairfield focused. The subjects can be, but not limited to, the art community, the history or the future of Fairfield, the residents, the culture, neighborhoods of Fairfield, social media within Fairfield, et cetera, et cetera. Judging panel looking at for this first annual juried competition would be the commissioners, artists, and I'd like to see if we can get artists not just involved with judging, but also mentoring. That way we get the community really steeped in with the students, and business leaders. I think it's important to include business leaders because Fairfield and Southport are really have a wonderful network of business leaders. And we can, and again, when I start talking about some of the issues to be developed, they could be real participatory in it. And some of the solution should have a STEM component to it, so that way we do keep it within the education process. Again, the categories, and I broke down the categories in visual painting, visuals being, and digital painting, printing, sculpture, et cetera, et cetera. You probably know most of all these. And then the prizes are TBD. The reason the prize is TBD, one of the things I talked about with Michelle was the development of those prizes should be something that's going to engage and pull in a good participatory group. So if it's just, if it's breakfast at Chips, that's not going to really get everyone excited. But if it's though I love chips and I love to win a breakfast at Chips, but one of the things like an iPro pad or something that is part of part of the arts community, so it makes it worthwhile. Some of the developments, what will and this is again what I discussed with Michelle, what will get schools, teachers, and parents involved, what prizes could induce engagement, what's going to get the artists involved, and the criteria for what we have to set up a criteria for problem solving and judging. Exhibition, oh yeah, this was a nice thing. The exhibition of the art solutions can be all around town, and we can create that and at different venues. And then the ceremonies, an informal ceremony for the kids, and then a formal awards presentation with fundraiser. So that's just a rough idea.
All right, so we bond with it.
Say it again, I'm sorry.
What do you need from us? We're asking.
This is a proposal, that we should get together and work on as a commission and break off into committees to make it work.
So wait, would we be involved in implementing it, Sam, or how do the teachers implement it in the curriculum? Are they going to integrate it? Is it extracurricular? Did Michelle talk about that?
Yeah, it would be extracurricular, yeah.
Ah.
Let's not use subcommittee. Let's say we have a working group, and Sam is going to take the lead on it. And
What? No kidding.
I think, Sam, if you were to get some of the local authors, artists, painters to give a one-day workshop with the winners, I think you want a photographer, professional photographer who might be willing to donate.
I think we can come up with good.
I think we should be able to come up with some pretty good prizes, I think.
No, absolutely.
I guess my only question too is, why does it have to be STEM component? I mean, the kids, I feel these days, it's like everything is STEM.
Yeah.
Can't we just make art
Fun.
for art's sake?
Yeah, I agree. 'Cause it's educational without STEM.
Yeah.
And the good thing is not STEM, it's STEAM, right?
STEAM.
Yeah.
We incorporate arts in it, right? So.
Yeah.
Well, it's already going to have art in it. That's why I took the A out. But it's going to wind up having these things anyway. So you don't have to force it down someone's throat. It's going to wind up being an educational process anyway.
Well, maybe we just don't want to need solutions don't have to be STEM really necessary.
No. I can take that out. That's easy.
I think everyone is in favor of advancing this concept. That's right.
Yeah, I think it's great. I wasn't sure if it was something that was done in a certain amount of time in one space and you give them a problem and they make a solution, or is it something that's start date and then due date. And
That's how I assumed it. I assumed the latter, that it's like extracurricular work in your own time, and at the end of it, there's a submittal, there's an exhibition, judging.
Yeah, and Christine, one of the things that we talked about with Michelle, we were just bouncing. She's played in this sandbox a lot, so she was talking about some days like if everything was due like at the beginning of January, we can go through a certain period of time of showing, and at the end of like what she say January, February, like about March, we can like do the whole, then it's after winter and do a whole events and ceremonies. So yeah, so it'll be a longer period, not just one day.
I just would give yourself enough time to flush this out.
Right.
So the idea of doing something with the schools involving kids, I think is great, because you can, if you reach kids, you reach their parents, raise awareness. Our mission here in town, they have a established way of communicating. Basically, probably 90% of people in this town get some sort of public school communication, so the daily thing from birth comes or wherever is a great place to talk about this. It's just, I think, a lot of what coordinated and the timing and all those things. So I think I appreciate the first lob of should we do something like this? Yeah. But that's why we need a working group with people to make it happen.
Sam, you're okay with taking the lead on the working group, and then you can pull in other people. I'm sure some folks here are interested in other folks like Michelle Hermson, other folks from the school.
Yes, I think I'll take the lead on it, and I'll put together a team to make it work. Anyone here want to let me know? That'd be great. If you're afraid to jump up and volunteer, Kevin, that's fine.
I can certainly help on creating this and figuring out all sorts of things. How are we doing submissions to what's the actual challenge? That's for sure. Okay.
I'm really happy with this too, Sam.
Same.
Yeah, happy to help.
Okay, thanks.
Matt, Christine, me, and Kevin.
But a lot of the legwork could be done. I think of the schools as a distribution for this
Yeah.
That's what I
challenge, like you were saying. So we have to get the support of that,
Yes.
or someone there. So that's probably, I would say, the next step.
Yeah.
And then bring back to the commission. Well, we get in a position to establish a motion.
I also think you should open it up to the private school kids too.
I do too. Yeah.
Well, in all honesty, and I agree with that. That's why the way I wrote it out was Fairfield residents and students, because we have students in Fairfield that may not be Fairfield residents. So I wanted to leave it that way in that regard. So private schools and public schools, yeah.
Thank you, Sam. Any more questions, concerns, comments?
Can it be any young artist that is not we get some homeschool kids who don't get to be involved in anything like that, so that would be nice.
Okay. Anything else on the new business?
Well, we did some item here for discussion about, the last meeting we talked about Friends of Fairfield Council.
Fairfield, yeah.
And we had some conversation, we started about, that concept, done a little bit of research. And there's a couple different ways those things tend to go. I mean, one obvious role of friends groups is to be 501c3 and raise funding to support support and promote the arts. It's kind of very similar to the Friends of the Fairfield Public Library, and raise independent dollars to help support the library's mission. There's a lot of examples throughout the country on groups like that. I think we'd also talked, just people at the conversation of the arts were very interested in giving of their time and volunteering for various committees. So there's that component too. So we want to make sure that we allow to augment our limited resources here. We want to have a bigger footprint and get other people engaged and involved in spreading the word. So I don't know where we want to
Well, I mean, I just think we've talked about it before and we're nowhere near putting a motion together, but because maybe we are, but it's to support the mission of the Fairfield Arts Commission, allowing for opportunities around programming, you know, the Innovation Art Challenge, fundraising, building awareness, and making a Fairfield destination choice for artists. I know that's a very broad statement, but then, you know, you'd have a designee who would report back to the commission during public comment, right? But establishing it, the friends of, and creating that vehicle. I mean, there's more than enough people that want to do this based on our last couple of meetings. So I think it'd be great. But the consideration of creating a 501c3 brings up other, not necessarily challenges, but things we'd have to deal with in terms of having a budget to do that, having an attorney to help. Can the town support us? Can the town support us establishing a friends of? Because there will be some issues there, but not necessarily issues, but the administrative side of it.
Well, I'm sure that we could. I don't know to what degree and what that would entail, but
I don't know either. Do we want a motion to say that we are going to establish one,
I
or?
think if the commission wanted to act on it, I mean, an expression of interest in forming a Friends of the Fairfield with actual mission or purpose yet fully defined in role, as well as the structure. I think really too that we almost need to have a smaller working group that's kind of flushing that out, maybe working with some folks in the community that have expressed interest in being on a Friends group, kind of developing what that purpose is and how it dovetails with this group. I know we've talked about the advantage of setting up a 501c3 in terms of fundraising. Maybe
It's early days.
mesh together very, very nicely.
So what if we had a motion to establish a group within the commission to do further research around the friends of around town, like the library, et cetera? I'm not really articulating that very well. But
I think,
do we need anything for the next steps?
I think, you know, we're doing these quarterly meetings, and I think maybe if we're having like the Black Box at the Quick Center, if we're doing it at the show, and we get a larger part of the community together and make that one of the conversations, and maybe build off of that and then move forward with it. I think, you know, I think we're still in an infancy stages here right now. I think trying to get the cultural district set up, and it's a great idea, but I don't know, this is only my opinion. I think maybe we can do that until we actually get some feedback from the actual community and see who would want to join the committee.
That's great. We've collected a number of emails tonight.
Oh, yeah.
We have over, you know, based on a lot of the activity, you'll have a great, you know, sort of contact list, and that could be the basis of.
Sam, you view it as a fundraising.
I'd say one of the opportunities would be a fundraising, but also supporting the programming and supporting some of the that's obviously supporting the mission. I think fundraising is definitely something I think we could do, but it's going to take a while to really have a fundraiser. We'd have to build the awareness first. But I think eventually that would be.
It's actually like, for example, what we're doing with Sam's idea, the other Sam's idea, we're able to execute that, which supports our mission without actually having a friend. So I really view it as a fundraiser exclusively, but if we determine as a commission that that's something that's really important to us going forward, I think we should have it, but
Yeah.
we haven't yet figured that, all right? We have decided that fundraising is critical to us.
I think some of this that, you know, we're focused on the activities that we have identified that are relatively or no cost. That would be, you know, there's a lot of work to be done in that realm. But there's also other things that, you know, folks have mentioned and we've talked about, like art and mural campaigns and things of that nature.
Installation.
Require a capital investment, not to mention, you know, people wanting a physical space in which to allow artists to make art. That's even a bigger financial commitment. So at some point, we're going to probably need to identify some additional support. And I guess that we'll be making a more fervent pitch to the the town next budget cycle.
And
One of the
state-
other
and
things
state.
I want to mention
And grants.
too is that we, and we'll finish this conversation, and I'll talk about a grant opportunity that's coming up. So there are things to add to our resources, but I think to move this forward, if there's been some interest in having a friends group, so I don't think it would hurt to have, if Sam wanted to take the lead, for example, and doing a little bit of research to see, what we can learn from other groups similarly structured or organized, and we can come back and consider it.
Does having it help us obtain funding from the town when they go to their budget season? Is it easier for us to have an item that's called Friends of the Fairfield Arts
No, I
Commission
don't,
versus giving money to the Fairfield Arts Commission art project or whatever? Does that help us in any way? Just that label?
I don't know that it helps or hurts. It sometimes can be seen as helping in that you're leveraging other dollars and your ask is not as great.
Yeah.
On the other hand, people can look, well, you have a friends group, so therefore we don't have to allocate money.
That's what I want.
But we're a long way from that being the problem here because we don't have any money. So
I think there are two very good examples down. That's Pequot Library and the local library here, because they get funds from the town.
Yep.
They get grants, they do a number of different things. But to augment the other programs and art installations and all the things they do, they have a friends of or a way to fundraise. I don't think it's exclusively fundraising. I think eventually that's a big part of it. But there are other things because it keeps people involved with the Arts Commission because they want to be involved. They can be volunteers working on some of the art challenge. Some of the events that we have, we're looking for boots on the ground to help us. But those are two very good examples because they can't rely solely on what the town can give them. So we go to the RTM and ask for a lot of money. Can't ask for money for the Friends of. We can ask for money for the commission.
the work that you're doing.
For the work that we're doing to help the town and to activate our mission.
So I'd be curious, for example, the two people running for the main, they have staff people who run. Friends.
Correct.
That's very different from us, which is a volunteer.
Right, exactly. But there's bricks and mortars and an institution that they're running, and they have people that are actually there to do fundraising.
Right.
I'm thinking that this will evolve, and I'm not saying you have to have staff for the Friends of. It's strictly volunteer. I mean, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
But I'm trying to figure out whether it makes sense, to be honest with you,
Yeah.
because it's not exactly apples to apples, it's really apples to oranges.
Right.
That's what I'm just asking.
No, I think these are all good, valid points. I think it's not really, it's not ready yet for prime time. We have a lot of questions we don't have answers for yet, but again, there are a lot of different examples, not just within Fairfield, in the case that Sam mentions for the libraries, but I just did a quick online search and identified a number of Friends of the Arts for various cities and towns throughout the country. And they have varied missions. Part of it is fundraising, but part of it may too be, people just volunteering their time and talents to advance the mission here, which is to engage folks and appreciate art. So I think it probably does require a little bit more research.
Friends of could also be just a communication vehicle for making people aware of events that we're having. Right, very simple, and I mean that's an easy way to start.
We had the meeting too, the community conversation, and a lot of folks in the room who wanted to help.
Yeah, they all want to be
Part
involved.
of it. So this could be a mechanism by which we give them a role of some sort, and augment our folks that are on the commission.
We do have a grant writer, Tom. Will you start to say with some of our possible grant?
Yeah, so Terry Brown made me aware, we did apply last year to the supporting arts grants through the Connecticut Office of the Arts. We don't need to take any action tonight. The deadline to apply is August 12th. We applied last year for matching funds for the $1,000 that the town had put aside for the Arts Commission to get us started. Applied for and received the $1,000 grant from them. So I'm sure we don't have to do a dollar for dollar thing. We could probably request more. Probably need to, I have to file a final report for the money that we did get. But then I think it is possible to get a little bit more dollars from them to help again move forward and implement some of these items.
That could be.
Certainly not. It's not big bucks. It's really most of the grants are in that $5,000 range. They're I think would be an average. There's some a little bit more and some that are less. So.
Should we ask Sam Goldstein to come up with a number figure to support this? So
Well, I
maybe
think
that's what.
what he's going to have to do is whoever is working on this, they're going to have to develop a budget.
Yeah.
And what we need. And it's possible that could fit within this.
Yeah.
If not, we'll have to identify other funding sources. Because there are certain categories, activities that are eligible for funding under this and some that are not. So does have to be. I don't think we could use it, for example, to provide cash prizes.
No.
So we have to put that on our own. Maybe some of the, we use this grant to help drive the conversation. So we didn't have to pay for the facility, but we just have to rent some of the tables and linens and buy food. We didn't pay the facilitators that was. So there were costs with even running that type of.
Anything else on the new business?
Just on the same business, it seems like for friends of the commission, with PQAT and Fairfield Public Library, like the missions are clear and long established, so it's easy to point people how to support. I think we still have to kind of integrate the agenda from the community conversation. We won't integrate the whole thing, but we have to reckon with it somehow and present back what we've done with it. And then I think we have a lot of supporters there who would love to do that. But I think we have to integrate it and point people somewhere that we've listened and here's what we want to do. Because like you've said, the projects we're doing now they don't necessarily need that kind of support. Creating the cultural district and the competition, not necessarily, there's not a big ask for doing. But if we can I'm just wondering how we can go back to this agenda if that's another working group. I just don't want to forget all the ideas that people.
We have that list of suggestions and we're kind of working through it, but I think that's a good thing. We should probably put it on the agenda every month so we can see where we're making progress.
Because I don't think we're going to ever work through the whole thing, but I think we should jointly make a few big decisions and say, here's how we're going to address all of these desires and here's how we're going to put these on the back burner, just so we can come back to people and say we've listened.
I think we did talk, Matt, last time about putting it into like quadrants, like easy to implement, hard to implement, costs a lot of money, doesn't cost any money, and then you can kind of make some you can prioritize based on that.
How should we do that? Should I take that on or should we do that collectively?
I'd love to work with you on that, Matt. So I'm happy to, I have the list. I started
looking at it.
coordinates around it, but that would be great. That would be great.
Okay, do you want to reach out? You want me
I will reach out.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks.
I didn't see Matt there, so hi Matt. And to riff off of what Matt's talking about, what's going to be our discussion tomorrow at the mixer?
You're going to be there?
Yeah, I'm gonna be.
So I think one is we want to tell people that this is heard. One of the comments made was provide an opportunity for artists to network together. Responding to that, we intend to have quarterly mixers at rotating venues throughout the year. The other thing I think we want to mention is a couple of things that are coming up. If we have, we want to certainly extend an opportunity. We're going to take folks, we do have advanced registration, we have a table there. So if people haven't had an opportunity to sign up, so they get on a mailing list so we can keep them informed of what we're doing, we're going to take down people's names and email addresses. I think there's also an opportunity to ask if people want to get more involved in the work of the commission, either through a friends group or something else. We could do that. We started to gather that information as well in terms of the areas, their interests and their areas of expertise or things that they want to work on. So I think those are the messages. If we had time, we can certainly mention, I don't want to get this into a long speech because the point is networking, but we're looking at this downtown arts and cultural district. So again, I think we'll have some information there. We won't have a big poster, but we want to start people talking about it and make sure that we've talked to folks that are interested in the arts and they think this is a good idea and they're going to be supportive of it.
Lou, will we have music day stuff to pass out?
I'm happy to bring stuff, sure.
Yeah, let's make that part of it too.
Thank you.
Okay, so then the next item here is public comment. I know we have a few visitors, David Pretzler, Florence Zolan, and Diane Powell, who are all from the Arts Place Gallery. Is there something in particular that you guys want to address with that business or something else? Or are you the three of you here for the same reason, I guess, is what I'm asking?
Yes.
Okay.
That's to find out what you're all up to and how we may participate as we move forward. We have not really discussed among ourselves, coming basically from Art Place Gallery, but I think we as individuals have some ideas. I represent also the Connecticut Symphonic Winds Ensemble, which was made the official music ensemble of Fairfield some years ago, at least 10 years ago. We are looking for a new space. So I throw that out in advance. There's a 75-member wind ensemble. And we are currently working out of Ludlow Middle School. While that was closed down and made unavailable because the Board of Education, did not make it available. Looks like it's working out right now. But we're looking for a more professional space. I have not discussed this with anyone. It's off the top of my head. But for instance, the community theater. I don't know if the stage will accommodate the 75-member wind ensemble.
No, exactly, unfortunately. We could do about 40.
Fantastic. So, and Matthew?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to end up losing money to expand that stage.
Sounds good to me.
Anyway, that's one thing. Art Place Gallery is celebrating its 43rd year, I think. We're very comfortable partnering with Fairfield Theater Company, and membership is growing a little bit. That we're over COVID, and I think there are some interesting things in your art challenge that we can participate in with students and other members of the community. All three of us have been involved with the Kirshner Gallery at the Fairfield Public Library. And as we have getting a little older, we have pulled back some of our activities. But we did things at the Kirshner Gallery that involved community art show once a year. It's still going on. Student art exhibitions. I did one for the Sullivan Independence Hall, hanging system 15 years ago. And, these things don't last forever. But they're a way of celebrating participants, especially students. We could involve high school students, we could involve their teachers, we could involve college students in the area interested in the arts. So, it's what's been on my mind. I think I'd like to move forward with some of those thoughts. Happy to meet with any of you board members, because I think you'd find it stimulating and you would not be bored.
David,
If you don't know Dave, he's always playing with words. Oh, okay.
I got it. I'm slowing the update, but I got it.
These are not a dead issue, so they're not going to take you out on a board.
Well, thank you, David and Florence and Diane, I for being here tonight and bringing this to our attention. And I also thank you for you all attended the area-wide meeting we had at FTC, and I appreciate your feedback there. I think it was a really good day. I'm glad you're checking out to see that we're following through on some of these things.
Yes.
I think that what Sam was talking about and what he's trying to get off the ground now would fit in with a lot of what you're talking about, the educational piece. And you say you're looking to volunteer, that's your guy right there for now. Sam?
Right.
We got a couple of volunteers here for later.
Give me your contact information and I'm good.
We'll make sure you have it.
Some years ago, when our place was in the Southport train station, before it burned down,
Yeah, I remember that.
That's where we started.
we had a Fairfield Arts Council.
Yeah.
Nothing like yours, but we had for a period of time, an art walk on Fridays once a month in the warmer weather. And we had participation of the liquor company, was it? My senior moment.
Harry's?
Harry's, thank you. Ruth. I know you're not Harry, that's all right. But that was kind of an interesting experience because Harry's provided a different variety of wine at each location. Of course, there were more locations having to do with art than there are right now. So people would walk from one location to the next, have a sample of Harry's wine, and take in the art at that venue. Then move on to the next. And it became social interaction as well as a sip of friendship. It fell apart. We're not really sure why.
The Arts Council did.
Yes, but we couldn't get safe drivers for all the people who were driving.
That has been an issue with a few events that I've done.
Did you used to rehearse at the pavilion at the beach? That wasn't Symphonic Winds, okay.
No. We have played at the Fairfield Museum. And maybe some of you know new regulation on sound. There was a big issue of not having music outside at the Fairfield Museum.
Yeah. Yes.
Has that been still in
I
effect?
know they're very aware of the sound.
Some sensitivity, but
Yeah, there's some sensitivity at yeah, definitely.
just I think
But I'd like to know why you didn't sign up for Make Music Day, Dave.
Because I turned a deaf ear to it. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I've been out of the country for.
Well, we would love to have you, and I'm gonna talk to you afterwards, because I just got a text that somebody just canceled, so I may offer you a.
Uh-oh.
Happy to talk. So, I can't speak for my colleagues here, but I'm very interested in what you're doing. It's very good to see this happening. And we used to have a lot more art activity.
We're hoping to revive it. So thank you for coming.
So I will be here to support.
So every time you go to a show at FTC, the art on the walls in the gallery is provided by.
This place, yeah.
And I'd like to see if there could be more interaction with the community. Because people come through the box office area, FTC, and, they're not there to see art. And we are not salespeople. We're not there to pitch the art that's on the wall. But I do think it would be helpful if we had groups from the community that could come in for art talks, explanation by the individual artists or artists who are showing a given time.
Used to do that, and
Yes.
we would have, often we had guest artists, and they would give a talk, and then during the show or at the reception. So we had guest
No,
artists were,
an artist.
yes.
It's all a way.
The silhouette is.
Those all sound like things that are easily, that we could sign on to.
Absolutely.
Well,
Because they're not usually expensive.
As soon as we are the three officers of Art Place. As soon as we have a couple more meetings with our new artistic director and have more of an understanding of how we're working together, there may be things we can offer. But right now, these are nice things to talk about, but we can't offer them yet.
Okay.
So, but it's
Great
good.
ideas.
Yeah, they're great ideas and right. One of the reasons why we're here.
Years.
Well, Diane, we heard you at the meet and greet, and we got your new executive director over there, so that's positive. You and I both serve on the Fairfield,
Yes.
so we're on FTC's board.
Great.
And we love your artwork in there.
Yeah, I do.
You know, we've had conversations
Talking
really.
about it too.
We also have a Jennifer, you're here today. I didn't know if you came.
Yes.
Just a returning guest?
Listening and
Okay.
Yeah.
Where
You're just here to promote Make Music Day.
I had nothing to do with it.
All right, I think we've covered everything. Is there anything I missed?
I will just mention, I did talk to the Greenfield Commons Merchant Association, Greenfield Hill. We're doing some activities, and some of them are really would like to this group to create awareness around your mission and tie in multiple events. So they're doing I was postponed earlier. And they also talked about doing art tour amongst the different shops with art in the different stores to be displayed.
If you, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but if we could get the university involved,
there are a few people there. So.
Yeah.
you notice that. There's a wonderful exhibition in the Quick Center, Morris Gallery right now. Fantastic.
Before we do close, okay,
Just one last thing. I would guess that you're all aware that many of the other towns in Fairfield County do have the art in the windows or art. They have these weekends where all of the vendors host having artwork in the windows and in their stores. We had it was here in Fairfield a number of years ago. But, there are great things going on in other towns that are successful, and why not in this town?
we're trying to work on that too.
Yeah.
One more thing to remind me, sorry, I was just gonna, one thing on that, just to remind me, the farmers markets are back, they're very visible. Could the Arts Commission put something in the gazebo during the farmers market, a talk?
Well, they do music. Yeah, they do their own music.
This time of night.
There's no music Sunday,
Okay.
but normally there's music, yeah.
And if the Arts Commission wants to have a presence at the downtown farmers market, just let me know.
Yeah, it's very visible.
Or at Greenfield.
Yeah, that's right.
We also.
Great bread from New Haven.
We talked about having these meet and greets quarterly, and next quarter will be probably September. Either location, looking to maybe do the next meet and greet.
Wants to volunteer.
Quick Center or Shoe wanted to do the next one.
Any month, whatever, we'll do it anytime.
Art performances don't really start until October, but the art museum has their opening lecture on September 20th, but that also It's gonna incorporate dance and music. So September 20th will be, Carrie, you go was okay with that?
Friday.
It's completely free. So I would just need the names and enter it into their own Eventbrite to keep things.
Yeah, we would probably do the same thing where it's for people to register, so that we have a head count.
Yeah. I don't know who the artist is, but it's gonna be the opening lecture, and then they're gonna have a dancer and a musician from Norwalk do a little 20-minute series. So it actually incorporates 3 different.
So Crick Center, September 20th, the Friday you said?
That's a Friday. And it's free, so.
No pressure, but that would put you up for the holiday show in December.
Yeah, of course, yeah. You can schedule and pick something fun.
I entertain a motion to close. Katie,
Yes.
second?
Right. Thank you.
Christine, you get that? Katie, Christine, close.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.